everything.
So you take 100% of your wages home.
Wonderful. Brilliant.
Are you complaining?
Now wait, based on that,
What's the point?
the point, you said brilliant because there's no tax to be paid. Wait, 1 second, wait. Now wait, okay, if you want to talk, you can always, because I get confused when so many people are talking. Now, based on that, if you were in a Muslim country who had no tax to pay, when they come to this country, would they say, oh, you got being discriminatory? Because my country doesn't require any tax to be paid, but yours does. Does he have the right to say your country is discriminating? Can you please, do you understand the logic behind this?
This is the point. This is you missing.
What missing?
You're completely missing the point.
What point?
Taxes here are not based on your belief, which is not objectively provable. It is based on your income, which is objectively provable and verifiable, and therefore fair. And you tax people at different rates.
You think tax is fair in this country?
You don't pay taxes.
Seriously?
Charity.
What do you know about taxes in this country that you think is fair?
The 40%,
Do you know?
the 40%
Do you know
upper bracket,
who?
for
Do you know who
example.
actually avoids the most tax? The richest in this country.
Okay, but then we're talking
and
about tax rates.
and corporations like Apple and Google and all that, they have their accountants. So please don't tell me it's fair. Okay?
It's never fair.
My friend, your objective fairness, which you just thought, you had no clue about the taxes in this country.
I didn't say it's objectively fair.
Okay,
I
so
never said that.
In what case is it fair?
I said there's a stark difference between taxing people based on their income and taxing people differently based
But
on
it's
their
not based on
religious
income.
belief.
Who told you it's based on income?
That's what you want to
What?
Now current.
No, I'm talking about current as
Is
well.
taxation in the United Kingdom
How do we run the
based
state?
on your income?
In theory, yes. In practice, no.
How much is that?
Do you understand that point?
We're talking about theory.
No, we are not.
Ignore
No.
practice.
Practice is the
Ignore
most.
practice.
Okay, ignore the practice of jizya. Because the Muslim countries don't actually require. Ignore it. Come on, let's ignore it.
is for
7%, 2%, 2%. In a Muslim society, nonsense. You don't know what it is. That is
A requirement of the state.
yeah, required by Sharia.
Exactly.
That is the law. But it may be discriminatory in your definition of which is fine. Absolutely. You're putting a load on discrimination. It's still saying there's a difference between you and you. That's fine.
No, but he's saying discriminatory based on. You're comparing apples and oranges. Do you realize
You're
that?
saying Sharia is discriminatory.
No. It is what it is.
I know that
You're comparing apples and
Whether it's
oranges
fair or not.
because what you're doing is you're looking at a secular, non-religious country, and you're comparing its laws. Listen. You're comparing its laws to that of the Muslim country's laws.
Different ideology.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm saying you're the one actually missing the
I
point.
think the point is you don't actually understand the
No,
concept.
I do. Because
To
your
summarise-
discrimination
to
is
summarise,
based on your
If you're not a
worldview.
Muslim living in a Sharia law society,
Yeah.
you won't get fair treatment. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And jizya is a
What
great
if you were a
example of that.
Muslim?
if you were not,
a Muslim.
You're not Muslim.
Oh, how is it unfair? Tell me.
how?
He made a point. Let's see how is
We've
it
been
unfair.
discussing it for the last hour.
Which part of that was unfair?
You're paying a religious-based tax.
Yeah.
Still a tax,
Which
bro.
you need to pay because it's part of your religion.
Yes.
But I have to pay because
someone-
that's the
It's
law of the
not my
country.
religion.
No, because somebody protects you in that country.
No, but
Somebody protects me.
Yes.
Fire brigade,
Unless
police,
you want to be a freeloader.
ambulance.
Do you not need protection then?
I do.
So what?
why?
I do.
So why do they call it? Why don't we just call it tax and make it fair for
Do you
everyone?
know-
And me and you pay the
listen,
same thing. Why do you have to pay
By
zakat
the
to go
way,
to
why
your
shouting? Calm down. Calm down. Don't need to shout.
to get a word in? So
You
why
get
do
a word in, you don't need to shout. Calm
So
down.
what? So you're paying a tax or a zakat, whatever you want to call it, which is part of your religion. Yeah. I have to pay that. Not
No,
because
you
I
don't
want.
pay zakat. You don't pay zakat.
I'm paying a tax.
You're paying jizya, which is not zakat, and it's not based
Jizya.
on your religion.
What is jizya in English?
Jizya is not an English term, it's an
So
Arabic
jizya-
term. Jizya in English
Yeah.
would be roughly translated as the Ahl Kitab, the people of the book who have to pay it. So now
It's a tax.
I wouldn't call it tax.
What would you call it then?
I would call it,
Let's call it
in the
modern
case,
term,
in-
tax.
there is no modern term for jizya because the
Yeah,
countries
listen,
today.
I just spoke
We
to
have
a-
no issue with
Poll
it.
tax?
It's like poll tax. Can I poll tax?
Okay, man, let Ali make a point. Everybody else did.
No, start. You made a very valid point.
No, go on.
This is a scenario between Umar bin Khattab and a Jewish man. Yeah, okay. Umar was passing. Umar, you know Umar bin Khattab?
I don't know.
You don't know him, yeah?
The second Khalifa.
Second Caliph, yeah. Okay. He was passing by a Jewish man, an old man, yeah. Okay. And he found the man begging. And Umar touched the old man and asked him whether he was a Christian or a Jew. Yeah. So he asked the man, "Are you a Christian or a Jew?" The man said that he was Jewish. The blind man further said to that he begged in the day so he could provide for himself in the daily needs, for his food and to pay the jizya. Yeah? Look what Umar ibn Khattab said. To which of the people of the book do you belong? He said, I am a Jew. Responded the blind man. Umar took him by the hand, led him to his own house, gave him something from it, food, and then sent him to a keeper of the treasury with this message. See this man, so this is a letter that he wrote to the man, yeah? See to this man and his life, for we have not done right if we devour their youth and neglect their old age. The religious tax is for the poor and the needy. The poor are the Muslims, the needy are the Christians and the Jews, yeah? He freed the man from paying the jizya.
Why the needy, the Christians and the Jews?
That's what he says. I don't know why they said that.
That's one of the rulings to whom we should be paid to.
No, I'm just saying, why is the word needy being specifically applied?
Why
are there no needy?
No. The poor are the needy. The poor are the needy.
The needy of the Jews and Christians. They could be needy of the Muslims. They could be needy of the
the needy wasn't being specifically applied.
No. So what I'm trying to say is
the poor amongst them.
What I'm saying is, if it was discriminatory, like you're saying there, Umar ibn Khattab would never grab him by the hand, would have never took him to his house. He would have said, "Oh, you're a Jewish man." Yeah. The most he would have done is, "Okay, don't pay the tax." Yeah. But the thing that you need to understand is the same aspect with the Sharia law. When people come and say to us, "Oh, you guys can stone to death and cut the hand of the thief," we're like, "Look." No, you cannot tell me where to stand. Yeah? No, you cannot tell me. Okay, all right, okay. Sorry, guys, we have this relationship.
I know, he's a joker, man.
You call my friend a joker?
In a good way, man.
So basically, if it's not discriminatory in that aspect, you get what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, when lands are being conquered, so for example, the Romans, when the Romans would conquer lands, they believe me, people would love if the Romans came and said, "We will spare your life."
Listen.
If I can finish my point.
Very quickly.
Yeah. Why very quickly?
I don't want to forget my point.
Okay, remember in your head, just repeat in your head. Yeah?
Write it on your phone.
Good, okay. Now, the Romans, and the other empires, they would never give this. They would never ever give this option, So the Muslims, of course, kill them, ransack them. Trust me. Believe me, if we brought the Christians and the Jews who lived at the Islamic State, at that time here, okay, they would say we would rather live there and pay 1 dinar, then come here and pay 40% tax. So the issue is now, have you ever lived in an Islamic state before?
I have not. No.
Okay, should we go and look at people who have lived in an Islamic state and see what they say? Should we do that? Because you know why? Because
it's not part of the argument.
We had it in Syria. It wasn't a whole argument.
No, sorry, but there you go.
Syria, what?
You had it in Syria, yeah, you're right, because that's not Islamic state. That's
Well, what isn't it?
Which Syrian emperor?
So
which Syrian emperor
Islamic State?
imposed jizya?
Okay, one second.
What country right now would you define?
Apparently there isn't a pure Sharia law in the whole world.
None of the countries today impose jizya.
No, one second.
No, what's an Islamic state?
And this is
Islamic State?
what you said there, my friend, is the very reason that you should cut down on TV and read, because that statement.
So you make the assumption that I watch TV?
If you do not watch TV, I do not know who watches TV.
The only thing I watch on TV is football. That's it.
One second. You watch.
Listen. Let me. There's enough information out there for you to go and get whatever you need to get from lots of different sources without watching TV.
Okay.
You just stand there. Listen. You can say what you want to say, what we were talking about originally, that tax is unfair or not.
No, you cannot say it.
Just admit to it, and that's it.
We told you many times not
For
unfair.
clarification, that jizya is the tax for the people of the book.
Yes.
What do the atheists pay?
They get killed.
I want to know this.
They're dead before they can pay it.
It's a good question, but I don't have the knowledge. So
You don't have the knowledge.
Come on, bro.
You should watch TV.
I'll repeat again.
Maybe you'll get the
I'll repeat again. I'm not going to come here and talk about maths I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah? Thank you. Okay, now, one second.
Let him finish his point before he forgets.
I'm trying to make a point, okay? So, to laugh at someone that doesn't know something is a bit silly and a bit childish. You know why? Because I'm not going to pretend I know something that I don't know.
You just took the piss out of me for watching TV 2 minutes ago.
Yes, you do. Okay, how do you know Islamic State is Syria? Sorry? How did you find out Islamic State is Syria?
How did I find out?
How did you have a dream, a vision like Paul had when he was going to Damascus?
No, because I know people who travelled to Syria and came back.
Okay, so you know people that who do you know? One second. Who do you know he went? Because that sounds a bit dangerous. You know people that travelled to Syria and came back?
What? So everyone in Syria is a terrorist? Is that what you're saying?
No. You said you know people who've gone to Syria. What have they gone to Syria for?
They've got family there that are originally from Syria. That's
There's
why.
a war happening in Syria.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you.
He didn't specify when they went there.
One second.
Okay, by the way, they need an answer to the question about
Syria was before that.
You're not answering my question.
Ali,
You
listen.
said,
I asked 5 minutes
you
ago to
said
get word and
Islamic
you said
State.
you're
Okay,
15.
speak, but you
What was
said-
your question, by the way?
You said, my question was, have you lived in an Islamic state?
Oh, I see.
He said no. I said, should we go to the people in history who have lived under it and see what they say?
You got a time machine?
And then you came and said,
You have a
yes,
time
yes,
machine?
kind of,
Dig
yes.
them up?
No, better than that, yeah? Okay.
Better than digging them up.
Yes. Sorry?
Would you like to live under?
Okay, by the way,
100%.
Ali,
He's a Muslim.
Ali,
100%.
And he would, because nothing will happen to him.
No. You know, you would love to live in it. Should I tell you something? Let's look at Jewish people.
Bro, allow preaching, man. Allow
You're
preaching.
broadening this when there was more
You can
focus.
look. You can call it preaching,
But you're coming
preaching,
in-
Monologue.
preaching.
let's answer that previous question. The one they asked.
Even Hashim wants to let us have a word.
No, you
That never
asked.
happens.
You asked the question, what happens to the
Atheists.
non-people of the
Yes.
book
Have you-
and
have
non-Muslims?
you?
So there's two different opinions on this. One, at that time when they used to have wars against each other, the pagan Quraysh and so on, no, it wasn't that. There are two options. One option that they actually accept Islam. If they disagree to accept Islam, listen. If they disagree to accept Islam, they have the right to migrate. If
They have the right to migrate. That's a right.
Well, it's better than what the Christians gave them.
Yeah, slaughter men, women, and children.
So,
Slaughter men, women, and
so
children.
better than
convert
the-
to our religion or F off.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
By the way, it wasn't F off, it was migrate.
Yeah.
Like I said, do not use your
Pay a
logic.
tax there.
Okay? The third option was, if they still insist, then they should fight.
Fight.
Yes.
Oh wow, so they can't just.
Now
live
wait. Now the final
And that's
bit.
not discriminating.
The final.
No, yeah, let's not
Guys,
forget,
guys,
that's
wait a
not
minute. I still haven't
discriminatory.
finished. The final bit, like today's governments, they have the right to now abolish the jizya if they want, not abolish in the sense that completely say that it is haram or anything, but they have the right to say no, we don't require jizya because we are self-sufficient. And they have the right today. Many of the Muslim countries have now allowed Hindus. You go to Gulf countries, thousands of Hindus there. Yes, hundreds of thousands who are not people of the book. So now it is also up to the ruler to allow them to stay in the country without any penalties.
But they have the choice. So
Why not?
wait,
Why you guys are quiet now?
In what way?
Why you guys are quiet?
I'm in
ruler
shock.
has the choice.
Why are you shocked about
The
what?
ruler has the
Because
choice.
I give you
to
four
emigrate.
options. Which part were you shocked about?
Because none of those options were just like, oh, you're a human being, you can live.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you go back.
You know,
Wait.
It's
I mean,
the
what's
same
wrong
What
with
do you
that?
think?
It's the same in the UK, right? You're a human being, you can live here.
What do you think was the fourth point?
Why?
Because if you're working, you have to pay tax.
Yes,
That's
Of course,
a
but not a discriminatory tax.
It's not a discriminatory.
That
We
varies
told you
based on
already.
your beliefs.
By the way, I gave you the fourth option.
Ali,
Should I
genuinely.
tell you something? You're living in a fairy
No,
tale.
wait, Ali.
one's living in a
You
fairy
said
tale.
it was.
It's just that I don't think-
You said it was
wait.
inhuman. I want to know from the fourth option what was inhuman.
What was the fourth option?
The fourth option, the ruler decides who wants to live and not.
Because it's
without
up to the
imposing
ruler.
any
It's up to
punishment.
the ruler, not
Without,
the human
of course.
being. The human being should have
So
the
the
right to
ruler
decide
could-
where
Who
they
do you
live.
think legislates the laws?
But Hashim, the ruler could say.
And you actually don't, you
have
don't
to
get a
emigrate.
vote to put
Sorry?
the ruler
The
in.
ruler
No.
could say.
Oh
you
yeah,
have
let's not
to
forget the
fight
ruler
your
hasn't
Yeah.
voted in.
You can never vote
In
for
the,
the ruler as
the
well.
ruler,
The ruler's just there.
I'm saying in the fourth
Totalitarian
option,
regime.
in the fourth option I gave you,
They have a choice.
it is no different to a normal,
A
sorry,
totalitarian,
like
a
UK.
totalitarian dictator tyrant that has not been voted in. That
He's
was
never
not
gonna get
forced
voted.
in.
Oh,
by
now you're
democracy.
changing the topic about democracy.
No,
Wow.
no. I'm showing
Wow.
The ruler decides.
I'm
it's
showing
not-
you.
By the way, you as a Christian have to obey that totalitarian according to your book, the book of Romans. Do you remember
It
that?
doesn't make him morally right, though.
Well, your Bible
it makes
says
my
so.
action morally right.
So your
following
Bible,
him.
you're going against your Bible. You said, your Bible says if you do not agree with that ruler of that country, you are opposing God Himself.
Yes, but when did I say
So what?
that?
So
When
what
did
is
I say
your?
that I was-
So what is
I
your
was-
verdict? You said this is a totalitarian
Oh my
dictator. You
go back
have
a
no
few steps.
choice according to your Bible, but to follow that
I
totalitarian
genuinely
dictator.
don't think you guys know the definition of discrimination. I don't think
No,
you know
I think
where it applies. I don't think
you don't know the difference
what
between
is-
comparing a
Can you just
religious
clarify one thing?
legislation to a liberal legislation. You don't have a clue about the difference between the two. That's the reason you're comparing apples and oranges all the
Can I
time.
just clarify?
Yeah, please
Would you rather live under Sharia law?
Yes.
So if you were accused of a murder,
Yeah.
would you rather be tried under
Sharia law.
Sharia law.
Sharia law, yes.
100%.
Yes.
1 billion
Do you
percent.
think there'd be a better chance of justice?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Why is that?
No, wait. Before we answer that, what makes you think it is injustice?
Because British law.
No, about the Sharia law. Forget about the British law.
because
You assume that it is unjust compared to what British law. Now tell me one reason why you think it is unjust.
Because in British law.
No, not British. You said the Sharia is unjust.
Can I answer your question?
Okay, go on.
You've got a jury, you've got an independent judicial
And you think we
system.
don't?
Let him answer.
You've got, thank you. You've got a barrister to defend yourself. You've got 12 members of the jury who form an independent opinion, and it's as independent and as fair as it possibly can. It's not perfect, but it's as fair as it possibly can be. Can you maybe educate me how Sharia law is fairer than a trial in
Before
the UK?
before we educate, that's fine.
Let me know.
That's fine. Before we educate you,
Yeah.
have you already assumed it is unfair?
No, I'd like to. I'm asking,
you'd like to know.
No,
I'm
but
asking the question.
I totally understand. But I want an answer to this question. Have you already
I haven't
assumed?
made any assumptions right now. I'm open for you to persuade me why the Sharia
Okay.
law system.
But you see,
Can
if you,
just answer the question?
yeah, I will.
Thank you.
If you had asked that question at the very beginning, then I would have had no problem. But your question was this: would you rather be tried under Sharia or under the British law?
So explain to me
So,
why.
no, it is an assumption. It is an assumption. Okay, first and foremost, you said it is a fair trial. Yes, I remember the trial of O.J. Simpson. We all do, don't we? Yes, the jury, the judge, and wait, I'm talking.
I'm talking about British law, not American law.
How is different is
I
it?
tell you
How
what.
different is it?
No, but okay. You
How
cannot-
different is
okay,
it?
No, you're
Are you
laughing.
telling me the jury and the
Don't
judge
do
and the
that.
solicitor
Don't
cannot be
do
bought?
that. No.
Are you telling me they cannot be bought?
Can you just take us through the Sharia
Do you
law
mind if I
process?
answer instead of you butting in
because
every
everything's
every time?
open to
Let me
some
answer
extent.
We've
him.
got a lot of people
Let me answer him. Look, are you telling me that the jury?
First of all, stop shouting. Just calm
Okay.
down.
Okay. The jury, the judge, the lawyer representing you. Are you telling me these people cannot be bought?
Okay, but do you want to answer that?
Of course you can.
I just said it's not a perfect system. Sometimes there is, sometimes the judge or there could be some corruption. The police can be corrupt. It's an imperfect system, but the way it's practiced, generally, if it's not corrupt, then it's as fair as it possibly can be. But please, can I just ask me? Explain to me how Sharia is a fairer system. I'm really interested to know.
Because in Sharia, we also have a judge and a panel who decides why that person should be let go or be punished. So just like you have a system, a judicial system, Islam had that way before the British system.
So do you have a jury of 12? Do you how many?
Can I
people in your-
finish? Can I finish? I never use the term jury.
So what's the
The
difference?
jury,
What's the
the
difference?
jury is based on opinions.
Based on the evidence that's
Wait a minute. No, not
presented.
necessarily. Not necessarily. The evidence, I'll tell you what a jury does. The jury can only judge based on what information it was given. So any information that is hidden from the jury or is basically changed or twisted in some way to lead the jury in deciding the case, then that to me is not a fair system.
No,
Wait.
of course, but
I'm
the ju-
answering you.
No,
If you let me finish, and then you can comment.
Uncle, I'm
okay?
gonna jump out.
No problem.
Pleasure
Take care.
talking to you as always.
Take care, nephew. Take care.
Take care, man.
All right. So, just like the judicial system that is in Britain, yes, the Islamic system also has a system of the judge and a panel who decides based on evidence, based on witnesses, based on testimonies, what happens to the convicted. Sorry, to the one who is basically standing in the dock, the accused. Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference between a panel and a jury?
Say again.
What's the difference? You call it a panel, we call it a jury. What's the difference?
Well, the jury, like I told you, it could be anyone, any lay person from the community. A panel is someone who is already has experience in deciding cases because they've heard. So they are more like the solicitors or the lawyers who are experienced in this field. Now that's why I said the Islamic system of justice is better than the British system.
The argument for the British system is that because it's a random group of people, that they are less kind of viable than a specific known group of people.
No, but they're not experienced. That's the
No,
main
I know,
thing.
but they're judging. I suppose the idea is that each individual is able to make a good
A
judgment.
random person in a jury.
Yeah. Well, the 12, not one person.
Can I ask you?
12.
Can someone who is an alcoholic, yes, but not anymore maybe, can he be a part of the jury?
Yeah.
Yes. So any moral or immoral person, regardless, even a drug addict, can be a jury.
If you consider that.
There you go.
If you consider that.
I'll rest my case.
Can I ask you a question?
If you can allow any immoral person to judge somebody else.
The idea is 12 random
No, can I?
Yeah, but random meaning they are not qualified, inexperienced. They could be immoral people from the society.
Let me ask you, is Sharia law, if the judge is of the opinion that the accused is guilty, and this panel is of the opinion that the accused is innocent, what happens?
Then they have to give the reason. The judge has to give a reason why he would actually go against the panel.
And
Why
that
do you say
happens
he
in
or
British
she?
law.
Oh, it could be she.
Okay, so who has the overriding?
The ultimate authority goes to the judge.
Oh, okay, so that's the difference between.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
it's not.
same as Britain.
It's the same. It's the
The
same.
jury has
No,
to
the jury gives his opinion,
It might be
but the
guided by
ultimate
the judge,
decision.
but the jury.
No, the judge can define what the jury do.
No, can I say something? There's actually a whole book on this. My friend's just going to get it from my car. I'm going to bring you the actual book.
read the book?
There's a book on this, Islamic jurisprudence by Dr. Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan, yeah? He's going to get it. Let me tell you why the Sharia is more just, yeah? Okay, he's going to go get the book. He'll be here in about a couple of minutes, yeah? The reason why it's more just is because, for example, in this country, by the way, there's a lot of things I like about my country, yeah? United Kingdom, a lot of stuff. I can pray in PCR, and there's some Islamic countries I can't grow my beard, I can't pray, yeah? There's a lot of things I can't do that I can do in the UK, yeah?
Do you love this country?
Of course we do.
Yes, believe me, there's a lot of things I can do in this country.
Did you get
that
any
I
hint
would-
from us that we didn't love this country?
Believe me.
Because you want to impose Sharia law.
No.
No,
We didn't
we
say
don't
that.
want to
We didn't say
impose.
that. We
No
said
one
we'll
can
live in a
impose.
Sharia law. We didn't say we'll impose it because when
So
I
if
think
you
it-
ask me, would I like Sharia country in this country? I said yes. If the people agree to it,
Yes.
then why not?
but not the Sharia that you're talking
Ultimately,
about.
it's the people's decision, right? It would be a democracy. So if there was a democracy in this country that they want a Sharia, would you agree with it? Even though you're opposed to it.
No, democracy. They have
Wait,
to.
let me know his answer. Let's say majority of the people in this country say tomorrow we want a Sharia in this
I believe in
country.
democracy. So if people voted for it, then
Then you wouldn't have an objection?
whatever my objection would be superseded by the democratic will of the people.
That's good. What about you?
That's what
Would
we
you have an
believe in.
objection? You wouldn't have an objection.
If there was Sharia
At least we are being fair.
law that was voted, would there still be a democracy within?
We have a voting system, Behaviour, but it's not similar to what you guys.
I guess the question is could society vote out an Islamic leader to make it a non-secular?
He can be impeached, yeah?
By,
Call it Behaviour.
well, impeached is a different matter. The
Bayah
voting
is just
Is everyone's vote equal in that system?
Bayah
Yeah,
is
men
to
and
give
women.
allegiance.
Is everyone's evidence
The ones
equal
from the book.
in Sharia law?
No,
Bayah is giving allegiance, and the people who give Bayah, they are tested. So it's not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry
So
they
if
can
there's
say.
a witness, would they? Let's say there's a witness.
It's to be upright witness.
But what?
So not any drunkard or drug addict
no,
can come and say, okay, I want him to be the caliph tomorrow. It doesn't work like
No, we're
that.
talking about giving evidence in a crime, for instance.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they have to be upright.
No, there's some aspects.
They have to be upright Muslim to give an evidence depending on.
You have to be a Muslim to
No,
give
it depends on what kind of evidence there is.
If you're a non-believer, can you give evidence?
Yes, if you're a non-believer and you are someone who is considered upright in the society, then yes, you can.
But who makes that judgment call whether someone's upright or not?
Again, it's the judge and the panel.
But what does upright mean?
Upright means, for example, like I told you, if somebody is immoral, somebody is habitual liar, somebody who might be a drug addict and maybe even not right in the mind, yes, they cannot come and give testimony because that testimony cannot be relied upon.
But surely that's the job of the barrister to dissect it, to pull apart.
Which
Yeah.
I told is a panel. Thank you.
No, you
No.
can choose on a jury here. You can choose. The solicitors can choose not to have certain people on the.
Yeah, but the
jury.
solicitor
But they don't
cannot.
really know.
The solicitor cannot discriminate between an alcoholic and a drug addict if they want to be in the jury. Can they?
So how
can we just-
how many
you
countries?
asked-
Where do you have Sharia law then? If it's such a great system.
Sharia
No,
law
no,
today.
you
Today
deny
there
it.
are many countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, who rule by a constitution which is based on the Sharia. But again, it is now based on their own
But
interpretation.
if it's a better
system,
version of the British, of a European court of law, why isn't it being implemented?
Say again?
If it's a better version of, say, a European court, a British court of law, and it's so good, then why hasn't it been introduced more? Why is it?
Because America's too busy blowing up Muslim countries.
Yeah, they keep
so
changing
they don't want it to
rulers.
happen because to them,
There's
look,
got plenty of Muslim countries who have
yeah, come on,
nothing to do with
Iraq, 1 million
America.
innocent men, women, and children destroyed into pieces.
I think if you go into
I just see what's that got to
No,
do.
no, of
there
course,
are,
look,
there
let
are
me tell you
certain
something.
things which
Let
are
me tell you
there are certain
About
things which you
45
think
Muslim
are
countries, right?
certain things are true and more practical and make more sense, but then that is not what is in practice. Like for example, do you believe that every woman has a right to abort a baby regardless of the circumstance?
I think it depends when, it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, so it depends. It doesn't depend on.
That's it. Why are you asking that?
The reason I asked you is that because many people consider that to be murder.
I know they do, but
There's no law that
So there you go. So the point here is that even though you don't have Sharia in your country, even though you consider the British law to be perfectly legit and it's something that is agreed upon by many people, but then there are many laws within it which to me are inhumane, like abortion. And I'm not talking about circumstances which are, and I'm not talking about circumstances which are basically exceptional, like for example rape or something like that. In that case, yes, it's okay. But most of the abortion, they take like 200,000 babies get aborted in this country every year. Every year, can you imagine that? Now imagine if you were less than 100 years from today. Less than 100 years from today, you would consider this practice to be inhuman. But today now it has been accepted in society.
100 years ago it was happening, but it
I'm not defending abortion. I think we're talking about.
Anyway, I think we had a long discussion.
Can I just carry on? So basically, you asked a question about the Sharia. Yeah.
Oh, you got the book already?
Sharia
Yeah,
law.
yeah, because the thing is, I'm kind of studying it.
This guy's faster than Amazon.
Yeah. This is I got one.
Amazon Prime doesn't do that.
Yeah, so this goes. Yeah, so this goes through.
Yeah, go on.
Just in case, but I'll catch my. Yeah, so basically, now the reason why I believe it's more just.
Sorry.
The reason why I believe the Sharia system is more just is because in this country, I'm being honest with you, I do Uber, part time as a living, So sometimes, I'm at certain places where I'm scared somebody's gonna come and rob my car. Somebody's going to pull a knife out on me. I can't walk the street sometimes safe. So even though I said there's a lot of things I love about this country, but I believe this country gives more rights to the criminal rather than the person that's suffering at the end of the stick. The victim. Sorry, the victim. So now the issue here is this: the Sharia law protects the community as a whole. So what that means is somebody cannot come and say, "I want to drink alcohol." So we say, hold on a second, now you want to drink alcohol, okay, you might enjoy it watching football or whatever, but if it's going to have a greater harm on the community, you can't do that. So now the reason being behind that is, for example, highway robbery. Let's give you an example of highway robbery. At the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, there was a group of people who came to him and they were ill, they were not feeling well, and the Prophet said to him, go to my shepherd, he will look after you, he will cure you, and you'll be okay. So he sent him to his shepherd. What they did is, and he ordered the shepherd to look after them and cure them and treat them well. They were treated well, and what they did is they crucified, literally cut the shepherd into pieces, took his eyes out, went with all the assets back then, the sheep, the camels, and they ran off. This is a highway robbery, Now, if somebody comes to me in my car today and points a gun at me, or knife at me, and tells me to get out of my car, I don't know what's his maximum punishment he's going to get. I don't know if he's going to get community service, painting a wall.
What would you like him to get?
I would like him to get, now this is where the Sharia comes in,
So let's say I steal an apple from a supermarket.
Yes, no, that's not the same. Stealing and highway robbery is two separate things in Islam.
Okay, so under Sharia law, if I steal an apple from a supermarket, what is the punishment?
Okay, firstly, there has to be a threshold that needs to be reached,
What?
Apple, there's the threshold, So for example...
Sorry?
The threshold.
It has to be reached. So it can't be an apple. Now, if that person has stolen the apple, there has to be a certain amount of witnesses. Number two, does it reach the threshold?
What's the threshold of what?
It's a sort of value.
Okay,
so it can be 200 and something.
So what
pounds.
is the threshold?
If I'm not mistaken, it's £160 or 200 and something pounds, something along those lines.
How many female witnesses?
In this aspect, I don't think there's any female witnesses. And we're going to come to
No, there was only female witnesses.
No, not this one.
The apple, witnessing the apple being stolen. How many female witnesses would there need to be?
As far as I know, female witnesses in this aspect are not taken. That's why I'm going to come to why.
But let's just, what is the punishment?
So that's what I'm coming to. So number one, if the person has stolen the apple, why did he steal the apple? Because now, we need to make this very clear. People think the Sharia wants to stone people to death and cut people's hands off. What we're saying is, by default, the Sharia, the court, the judges, by default, they do not want to cut anybody's hand, they do not want to stone anybody, and the evidence for that is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, once was approached by a man who said, I committed adultery and I would like to be stoned to death. The Prophet turned away from him. He said, I have committed adultery, and the Prophet turned away from him 4 times. And he said to him, the 4th time, he said to him, maybe you kissed her, maybe you winked at her. He said, no, I did actual penetration. So when he said that and he wanted the punishment himself, what we learned from that is, sorry, I know it's going to be a little bit of, forgive me, but you've answered the question.
What's the punishment for stealing an apple?
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be coming to that, yeah? And we can all laugh together.
Preferably tonight.
So yeah, hopefully it'll be today, yeah? So the evidence that I gave you there based on that is that nobody wants to cut nobody's hand off. That's the default position. Somebody stealing an apple, if they are stealing it because they're hungry, then he's not to blame. The state is to blame. Why is the state not providing that this man has to go and steal? So that right there I call justice, yeah? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to say, you stole an apple, hey, bring me your hand, we're going to chop your hand off.
So what's the punishment?
No, there is no punishment, because the thing is, why did he find the need to steal?
Up to, you can steal up to £150 worth of goods.
No.
If you're hungry.
No. If you're hungry.
So I can steal some food from a Chinese restaurant.
Good,
and there's
no,
no punishment.
it's a good law for homeless people.
Because what it is that's what I'm saying is justice. Why do we have homeless?
What if I steal some money from you? What if I steal some money from you in order to buy some food for £100?
That's a different story now. You see?
But why?
Let me tell you why. That's why we got the book
So
here.
there's no punishment. So you can steal up to £150 worth of food if you're hungry.
I know.
Is that what you're saying?
Hear me out, yeah?
I'm trying to understand.
Hear me out. What I'm trying to say to you is, the Sharia, if the Sharia wanted to do this barbaric punishment, anyone that steals, come here, bring me your hand, chop your hand, woo, hooray. But the Sharia does not want to do that, yeah? So that's the reason I'm giving this example. If now, stealing, we have a definition for stealing. It's not coming and taking somebody's money. If I walk around with notes in my hand and somebody comes and steals it, yeah? The point here is this. I could be held responsible. Why? Because what was the need of you carrying your hand, your money in your hand? Because that person may have been poor, maybe because of poverty, whatever, he came, you're kind of, what's it called? Not teasing, but you know what I'm trying to say, you're rubbing it in his face. The question here is this.
You could have been about to give it to your
No, it can be, but the question here is this. Taunting. Stealing has to be that you have a house. In your house there's a lock, and that lock is locked. That person breaks into your house, goes to the lock, smashes the lock open. Now that's stealing, because now what you've done is, not because you're poor, what you've done is, imagine you guys celebrate Christmas, yeah? Christmas Day, and this happens a lot at Christmas, yeah? You've got the gifts for the boys, for your daughters, your sons. Somebody comes in, steals everything and disappears. How does that make your family feel? We believe that if somebody thinks, you know what? There's some laws that you can't even hit the robber. The robber comes to your house, you cannot. What do you have to do? You have to help him. Here you go, mate. Which one would you like? The PlayStation or the Xbox? In this country.
But anyway, can you answer the question?
But that's my question.
I'm still waiting for an answer.
You're trying to describe a whole legal
if you steal an apple,
5 minutes.
if you steal an apple from a supermarket, you're saying you're let off. There's no punishment.
For the reason.
If you're hungry, is that right?
The state is to blame.
Is that right?
Look, there's homeless. There's homeless.
Yes or no?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
There's homeless here. Why are there homeless people?
So according to Sharia law, if you steal up to £150 worth of...
I said roughly, I can't remember.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is, there's a threshold.
Because you're hungry, your family's hungry,
Yes.
then there's no punishment.
What the Sharia does, the judges, if you allow me to answer, please, because it's not yes or no, it's not, what.
No, you've had about a few minutes, but then
I know, but the thing is, if you're looking for the answer, my reply should not be, you got 1.5 minutes, you better answer. If not, I'm not satisfied. It should be.
I
But if you respond to the definition of the question,
exactly.
No, I have. I need to give it context, because at the end of the day, you might, whatever I say, you're going to ask another question. So I'm going to cover it from all angles. So you say, okay, Ali, I'm happy because you get what I'm trying to say. So I repeat again. If there's homeless in this country, we blame the state. Sometimes the homeless man, because what? He spent all his money on gambling, on alcohol. Sorry.
You're making very general comments.
Okay, if there's homeless people,
Yeah.
sometimes the government's to blame, sometimes it's the person. Because maybe if he spent all his money on gambling and lost all his money and he's too lazy to work, we can't blame the state, right?
You're making very general. I mean, everyone's circumstance is different. You don't know why the person's on the street, but anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying some are to blame, some state is to blame. That's what I'm saying. So, I'm saying very clearly, if somebody goes into somebody's house, breaks the door, opens the lock, steals the money over the threshold, and there is witnesses, he will get the punishment. That is a deterrent, and that is more just.
So hang on. So the punishment being what?
The hands will be cut off.
So just to be clear. Yeah. So if someone breaks into your house, let's say you're a youth, a 16-year-old.
Yes.
You come from a very bad background. You have had, for instance, had a parent, for instance, in the house, and and you're encouraged by, due to circumstances, you break in, you do something very stupid. We've all done stupid things, and you steal a FIFA box worth over 150 quid, then you will have your hand chopped off.
Okay. The way you made that story, I was going to start crying because you turned it into some like a dramatic scene.
Well, no, but you said if it's over
but you made it seem.
threshold.
I was going. You might as well say, if there was an 11-year-old girl
but
who was
everyone
playing
has their own
Barbie and then. Hear me out, yeah. Anybody, if they're an adult.
What's the definition of an adult?
Adult, somebody who's in Islam, somebody who's reached the age of puberty, who's mentally.
Okay, so you could be 40.
Nine.
You could be 40 or 30.
No, not really. You can't say 9. No, you can't say 9.
So you can have your hand chopped off at 13.
It's not black and white.
Yeah.
9 now.
So I've gone for.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You have 9-year-old.
You could say you're 12.
18 is a child definition.
But France has dropped it to 15.
So you could be a 12-year-old in those circumstances. So tell me what happened.
No. This is what I'm trying to say.
So what happened?
This is why we believe the Sharia has more justice, and this is the reason why I'm telling you. Because when I give you the scenario, this 16-year-old, yes, who breaks into your house and steals all your life savings.
Yes.
Let's put into context.
Yeah.
He's taken it all. He's at a nice party. No. He's at a nice party. He stole all your
Let's talk about the
savings.
threshold of taking a FIFA box for 150
Hear me out, yeah? I'm asking a simple question. The reason why his hand will be cut off is so nobody's savings that they've worked so hard for will be taken away from them.
Do you not believe in second chances? Do you not believe in...
Now, the judge, like I said before, the judge's discretion is that the judges are not looking for, how can we cut his hand as soon as possible? What they're looking for is the following. What excuses can we make to avoid the punishment? Okay, son, why did you go to this person's house and find the need to steal it? Because I wanted to. Oh, okay, so you just felt like it.
Because a 14-year-old might answer like that because they're not sophisticated.
Hear me out. You're giving it, what you're making it is you're turning it into something like this is what I mean.
No,
the mentality is we turn the
robot
robot into a
I'm painting a picture. But you're doing the opposite. You're saying
I'm not.
he takes
I'm
all my life
saying
savings.
He gave you context. He said it's someone coming from a difficult background.
What did I say? I said the judge is looking for any excuse to not execute the punishment.
But is it default position that your hands are chopped off?
No, not default position.
But then why is it an excuse not to?
General ruling is your hand gets cut off. Specific ruling is that
I find that very troubling.
I don't find any troubling. You know why? Because you know very well. Let me tell you. Of course, this is what I need to say. Your kids can walk on the streets safe. Your house, you don't need to think. Let me get 20 locks, 45 cameras, alarm, security. You want to live in peace. What the Sharia does is, hear me out. The whole community should not fear, oh my God, someone might break into my house. Why can we not live in peace? If that means one person, and when these punishments are done, it has to be done in public, so everybody sees and says, hold on a second, I like my hand, I would like to
You
keep
think
my
that would stop crime?
100%, I believe.
You know what? That is the difference.
I believe.
That is a fundamental difference between the way you see justice and the way the British democracy works.
Yes. And that's why we can see people get stabbed left, right, centre.
No, okay. Let me just say.
I'm hearing now.
Okay, because the reason we don't have hanging in this country is better to let it's better not to kill one person by mistake. Rather than have
You just said the Sharia.
we have the opposite view.
No, that's Sharia law.
No, we have the opposite
That's
view.
Sharia law.
Because we would not want one person to be wrongly hanged.
That's Sharia law.
And that is
Long ago.
No, that's Sharia law.
It wasn't long ago.
No, I agree, but that's where we
but
are
you're
now.
right. You know that's Sharia law because in this book it mentions
You're
that.
saying it's better to chop their hands off and
No. If I'm not mistaken, actually the second Caliph, Umar ibn Khattab, said something that it is better. Actually, there's a statement in this book. I'll find it for you. What you said, you're quite close to Islam. I can see the light in you. I'm joking. What I'm trying to say is this: your statement there is mentioned in this book. I'm going to try to find it. That you're right. It is better to have a doubtful matter. If the judges had the case where a murder happened, and there's a doubtful matter, the Sharia says that it is
doubtful matter.
I can't think of a. It might take me time, and you're going to start saying, "Okay, Ali, take it." Not enough evidence. Anything.
Of course, if there's not enough evidence, so they're not guilty.
Okay, let me give you an example. Yeah, a woman is pregnant, but she says, "I'm a virgin." Yeah.
Mary.
That's a different story. Yeah, that's a different story. But hear me out. Yeah, a woman is pregnant and she can get punished for adultery. Yeah. If she comes and says, "I'm a heavy sleeper." One day, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a narration on this, I don't know if it's authentic, I'm going to mention it. A woman came to Umar ibn Khattab, the second Caliph, and said, I'm a heavy sleeper. One day when I woke up, I saw semen on my private parts. Yeah? Now, Umar ibn Khattab could have punished her and say, no, you're pregnant, which means some kind of intercourse has happened. Your story makes no sense, everybody will laugh at you. it is better, what you said, your statement, that we excuse the matter than kill you over, one second, kill you and over a matter that's
You're missing
doubtful.
the point. The point of the punishment is so brutal that even
Why
if
is it brutal?
to stone someone, you don't think it's
No. Oh, of course, it's brutal.
Exactly.
From the hindsight.
That's
Look,
why I'd much rather be tried. I'd much rather be tried under British law than Sharia.
No.
law.
But
How can you even compare the two?
Exactly. Let me tell you why I compare the two. Number one, I'm not calling for that in this country. I'm saying
You say you prefer.
I
you
believe
are, but you're saying you want
believe
it.
that's justice. Let me tell you why. Yeah. Let me tell you why. So yeah. Adultery. You can't just fixate on the punishment. You need to say, why did Islam bring this punishment? What was the reason? Okay, to what? To sustain the family unit. So, do you know how many kids out there that don't have a fatherly figure in their household who are going, because of that lifestyle, they're going and killing and stabbing and causing corruption in the land? Do you know why? Because the family unit is so corrupted. Because I'm sorry, everyone's sleeping around with everyone. I'm sorry, have you seen EastEnders? Yeah? I've watched EastEnders. Everyone is slept with Hollyoaks, you call it. Everyone is slept with everyone in
Your answer's to stone all the women. I mean, it's
no, I never
absolutely-
said that. I never look.
But
This is
you're
what I'm
talking about
saying.
Sharia law.
All you're doing is this, yeah. I'm saying, here's the picture. You're saying, Ali, but look at the pixel. I'm saying, yeah, but what about the picture? I'm saying Islam by default does not want to punish anybody. It's there as a deterrent so that your wife or husband or whoever do not be unfaithful to their partners, and by becoming unfaithful, it's not just hurting, breaking somebody's heart, you're causing corruption in the family unit.
Okay, can I ask you? Let's
Do you
go back to
understand?
this threshold.
Do you know what I'm
Do you
trying to
believe? Sorry, because we're going. Do you believe it's inhumane to chop off someone's hands? Do you
Okay.
believe that just the concept of that is
Yes.
inhumane?
Okay, so this is where
I'm asking, is it human to human?
No. Hopefully, I'm going to reply as a human.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that if a person's hand in a Sharia, I'm talking about Sharia state. If there was a Sharia state in this country, I'm not saying you better do this. I'm living under this country. I've got a passport that says I abide by the law of the land. If I don't, they can kick me and say bye bye or whatever they like to do. Yeah. Okay. Now, if a person's hand is going to be cut off and it's going to prevent thousands of other robberies happening, yes. If it's going to protect so many families from their items that they've worked for all their life to be stolen, yes. Because you know why? What did the robbers do? I'll rob the house. What I'm going to do? Community service. Is that it? You're going to go and steal somebody's life savings, and what are you going to do? Community service. I'm sorry, that's not justice.
One of the issues that this man brought up
I
was
believe
about
that's
the issue of potentially people being innocent and being punished with a very brutal punishment.
Yeah.
And it's often reported that within Sharia law or within countries that have some sort of Sharia law, that even women who have been raped are then sentenced for having sex out of marriage.
No, that's
Well, that's what's
say that.
reported.
What say that again? And in Islamic country,
Can
a
I add to
woman
that?
that's raped gets what?
So some people have reported that somebody has been raped and that they get arrested for having sex outside of marriage.
No. Because I'll tell you something.
Well, no, this is what's reported.
And what about the
ISIS
LGBT?
is reported as being
Well,
Muslim.
this is in
What about
UAE.
if you're LGBT? I mean, and what does Sharia law? What does Sharia law say about
You're
that?
dead.
Okay. It's very simple. Under the Sharia state, under the Sharia state, they have their legislations, yeah? Their punishments differ. The punishment differ. It's capital punishment.
I mean, how can you even justify that?
No, but one second.
Because how do you justify that on a humanitarian basis?
What you're asking me there is another question. It's about somebody's sexual preferences.
No, I'm not asking about sexual preference. I'm asking about Sharia law and how it treats LGBT.
I'll tell you how it treats it. LGBTQT, yeah? If they want to have sex, have a sexual party in their houses, you can do whatever you like. But if you bring it out to the community, no. So the Sharia law
What does that mean, bring it out to the community?
simple. Advocating it.
Public
Public. And they won't come on. Have you seen any homosexuals having intercourse in the public? In this country? No.
What if they kiss?
Sorry?
They kiss.
No. I'm telling you, in the Sharia law you can't. It's simple as that. But in your household, do whatever you like, whenever you like, however you like.
Okay, so does it say that in the Quran that you're allowed to do whatever you like? You're allowed to be a lesbian.
Shall I tell you something?
Does it say that in
It's a major sin.
It does, does it?
Yes, it does.
Well, show me.
Oh, sorry, Mufti. Yes. Yes. You tell us a bit about our religion. How are you saying no to something you don't know?
Where does it say this? Show us.
What is it?
No, show me.
I am. You don't know. Just say it's not fair. Come on. Come on.
He's claiming
Come on.
in the Quran says
I'll give you the evidence. Umar ibn
about
Khattab.
lesbians again.
No. Umar ibn Khattab once, the second caliph, walked into a person's house. and saw him drinking alcohol, and he had a go at him. You know what the man did? He said, "This is my house. You have no right."
What the Quran says, not what an hadith.
You're just quoting some excuse.
We have the Quran, we have secondary source of divine revelation, we have the Sahaba, the Salaf that we turn to.
Can I ask you a question?
You haven't replied.
No, because you're not answering.
Yeah, but you're asking me like a machine gun. Bang, 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 bang. I'm trying to
You're giving me a story about any hadith. It's not, I asked you straight. You're not giving me straightforward answers.
No, okay. Am I to blame to now kind of feel that you're here, you're listening to reply, not listening to learn?
Okay, I'll leave it then. Okay, all right. I want to listen to what you're saying.
Because the way you answer me a question, every time I'm trying to answer you, like, okay, that makes sense. I'll move on to LGBT, and just to make you look bad.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, no problem. You have the right.
Because I feel that you're trying to justify things without looking at the bigger picture.
No, I'm sorry.
There is something justification, explanation. He's doing explanation. Not justification, explanation.
Yes, he went to the house and had a go at this man. This man said, "This is my property. You cannot come and have a go at me." Umar ibn Khattab walked out the house and he didn't say nothing. You know why? Because Islamically, I'm not allowed to go to anybody's house and spy. I can't be like, oh, let me see what he's up to. It's haram. It's haram.
Maybe what if you've been invited there?
Well, if you've been invited there, that's a different story. So if you've been invited and they start having some sexual party,
so then he gets punished by death?
No, not even then. Let me tell you, this is how Sharia is just. Check this out. Because you know why? If that man comes to the judge, check this out. Look how just he's laughing. He's laughing. I'm just smirking. He's laughing. I'm smirking. He can laugh. I can't smirk.
No, I'm asking why.
Because he started laughing. Okay. If somebody invites me to their house, and all of a sudden they start having sex, yeah? I go to the judge and go, hey, I was at that guy's house. Okay, what happened? I don't know. All of a sudden they start having sex. You know what? We know what happened to me. We'll go to the chapter of slander. You know what happened to me? I'll get whipped in public.
Oh my God.
100 times.
Oh my God.
And not in a sexual way, please. Yeah, I don't know what you might think.
So you don't see anything wrong with being whipped either?
No. Listen, this is for slander.
I can't believe you're
Why are you scared of punishment, sir?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because we have a humane punishment system.
Humane punishment that don't work.
Sir.
But anyone would be scared of being whipped,
prescribed punishment,
executed, stoned, have your hand cut off. Can you not see that it's all inhumane?
No.
He knows. I put it all in context. The camera's there. You can watch it for yourself.
Humanity needs laws, regulations, and prohibitions.
You know, in America,
If the
in
law
some states,
is... Sir,
hang on, let me ask you this question. One question. Let me finish. You know, in America, we've got capital punishment in some states. Do you think that stops crime? There's more crime in America than anywhere.
No. How do they?
jump somewhere else.
No, you're right.
It's capital punishment. I'm not jumping. It's severity of the punishment.
America's system is capitalized. Go research.
The point
America's
is-
jails,
Can I just
they are a system which...
It's a valid point. Even though there's capital punishment there, it doesn't work. But how do they execute that punishment?
Yeah.
What kind of punishment? How does it work? Is it the same as the Sharia? That's the difference. And you're right. It might not work if
Death row,
if
10
the guy's
years,
on
20
10 years
years,
death row.
death row.
Now, I would get...
Business.
Let me tell you something. You know why I would get punished? For slandering. So I'm saying, I swear to God, I saw these men having intercourse in front of me. I will get in public, humiliated, whipped, and you know what? My testimony will be never taken again.
So you don't think that punishment is completely...
No, you know why? Because it protects the honor of a woman. You know why? In Surah Nur, God sent this down because women were being slandered. Oh, she went and slept with this person. And God sent down revelation to whip those people who slander chaste women.
Sir, people...
And you know how severe it is? Allah says in the Quran, and those who accuse chaste women and do not produce 4 witnesses, lash them 80 lashes and do not ever accept from them testimony. This is defending the honor. Let me tell you something, yeah? I picked up a woman from a hospital 2 days ago.
Why can't they just be fined to put in and have a prison
Because they'll
sentence?
carry on doing it.
How do you know?
But if they have lashes, they'll feel it.
How do you know?
We can see today modern society.
Can I tell you something? I have a fine example.
There are plenty of people that have been fined.
Sir, I'm an Uber
Modern
driver.
society.
I'm an Uber driver. Please, brother.
for libel. There's plenty of people that have been fined
hear
for
me out.
libel.
I'm an Uber driver.
They've gone to prison and they've come out and they've been reformed characters.
No, I'm talking about slander. There is no punishment for slander here. I picked up a woman. Hear me out.
Slander's like libel.
So what's your name? What's your name? Danny, I'm Ali. Yeah? Danny, listen to me, yeah? I picked up a woman from a hospital, yeah? In the back of my car, she started crying. There was 2 of them, yeah? And obviously I overhear stuff, obviously, you know. And she was crying, why? Because there was a rumor going on in the hospital. She has a work colleague, I can't remember his name, and they were spreading rumors that they are doing something together.
They were on
and she, I swear to God, the whole ride she was crying, and there was a girl there comforting her. That is slander. That is slander, because let me tell you something. That woman, how could you accuse a woman? She was saying, I have a boyfriend. Why would I do that? Why are they saying that about me? I felt so sad about that, yeah? I thought to myself, okay, what are they going to do?
But what I'm trying to say is
this is why prevention is better than cure.
So
That's
you
it.
think that if the person's whipped,
Yes. in
what
public.
about if the person was fined and...
No, whipped.
But
In public. So everybody sees they never slander and chase women.
how do you know that a lesser sentence wouldn't work? How
Because
do
you know why?
that?
You know
How
why?
do you know?
That's a valid question. It comes back to if the Quran is from God Almighty, we believe God knows better. So that's another separate topic we can discuss. Is the Quran from God? If it is, do we take it?
So you're taking your belief not from
Yes.
your opinion based on the Quran rather than rather than an informed opinion.
Yeah, but the thing is, I believe in it. But in this country, I can't go to the British government and be like, hey, you better whip them. I have no right because I've come to this land. I live in this land. I've got my passport. My passport says you abide by the laws of this land. I do that. I don't harm anybody. I try to stop at the red traffic lights. Sometimes, if it's yellow, I do a little quick one there. I have to because sometimes I'm late, but it's yellow. So the thing is, I try to obey the law of the land as much as I can, yeah? But the point I'm trying to make here is that prevention is better than cure. Look, alcohol. You know how many alcoholics we have in this country? Do you know how many people we have gambling addicts that hang themselves? What we're saying is prevention is better than cure. Don't go next to gamble. Allah says in the Quran, in alcohol there is some good, but the harm is greater. Don't drink alcohol. Don't go and have sex with every Tom, Dick and Harry, sleep around. It's not good for you.
No, I don't disagree with the...
Do you live in Sharia law then?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with the general sort of principles about how you lead your life. Okay, but the punishment for breaking these laws are quite shocking, actually. To be frank.
It is, but you need to understand it's a
Deterrence is necessary in humanity.
I don't believe it's a deterrent.
You haven't seen that. You haven't seen
I
that.
don't think
You know why?
We have nuclear weapon. Why, sir?
No. You know what I'm saying?
No, why?
No, one second. Let me tell you
Britain have
something.
nuclear weapon. Why?
Even though I disagree with what happened in Hiroshima.
Deterrence.
I can tell you. Can I ask you, if you lived in a Sharia law and one of your family was accused and found guilty
Of what?
Of any of the things that you mentioned, whether it's being LGBT, whether it's being slander, if it's your son or your cousin or God forbid your parents or whatever, you'd be the first begging. You wouldn't say, oh, no, fair enough, they've got to be lashed. You'd be begging the judge for forgiveness.
No, of course, look, don't get it twisted.
Is that right?
I'm not going to say.
Is that right?
Yeah,
But why would you do that then? Because you say, no, Sharia law overrides everything.
No,
why would you ask the judge for
Let me tell you
forgiveness?
something.
Why would you ask the judge not to do it?
Let me tell you.
Ask them that question.
I am.
Okay.
If I know that my, and this is a beautiful example of the prophet I'm going to give after. If my own daughter was to steal, I would go to the judge and be like, look, it depends what she stole. If she stole categorically what meets the Sharia, I'll say the law, the divine thing is more beloved to me than anything. If she's done it, because it'll be injustice for me to say, don't punish my daughter, but you can punish the next one. No. That goes for everybody, and my daughter did it, you did it, yep, you will get the punishment.
So if your daughter's,
and you know what,
if your daughter's in bed with a gay lesbian, then you'd accept it.
No. Let me get, if my daughter comes and says I have homosexual tendencies.
Yeah. And she did it, she participated
if she said
you won't
it,
mind if she's killed.
No. 1 second. If she's done that, I would say, look.
You watch Fox News a lot, sir.
What?
No. Fox News. He's saying Fox News.
Fox News a lot.
It's like a BBC, like Islamophobe channel. Yeah. Look, hear me out, yeah? The Prophet, peace be upon him, you know what he said? He said, we'll go to the punishment for theft. The Prophet, peace be upon him's daughter. He said, if Fatima,
Yeah.
He said, if Fatima, my daughter,
Steal.
was to steal, he goes, I will be the first to implement a punishment on her. That's justice.
So if your 14-year-old son said, I did something really silly, I went to the neighbour's house, I stole £200 worth of equipment, and I sold it on, then you would say, sorry, you have to have your hand chopped off.
No, because we can go, we can go to it. It's talked about in this chapter. We go to the person that he stole from, and if I'm not mistaken, he can forgive.
Yeah, but let's say he doesn't forgive.
Sorry.
So then you'd accept that the son
Sorry,
should have his hand
why are you
off.
stealing? If I've taught you better, did I taught you to steal? Trust me.
I believe if you had a son, a 14-year-old son,
Yes.
when the push came to shove,
Yes.
you wouldn't want his hand to be
I'm
chopped
not going to be
off.
happy about it. I'll
No,
be crying.
You wouldn't even accept it.
I will be
You
crying.
wouldn't
I will be
even accept
upset,
it.
but I cannot do nothing about it.
You wouldn't accept it.
Sir, listen.
I don't believe it.
This is justice, yeah? I want justice for everyone, yeah? If my son's action is going to cause a ripple effect of people going and stealing
I'm gonna
and
tell
in return
you.
corruption in the land, I would prefer...
The punishments that you so freely accept. I thank heaven that we're living in this country.
No problem. If you knew what the Sharia law was, you would love to live under it. You have no idea. Let me tell you
So
something.
how come no one lives under it then?
Do you know the people who have lived under it? In history? Shall I read you
But how
one?
come no one lives under it now? If it's such a great system.
No, because the Khalifa is fallen. The system is dead. It's not there.
But
it was there.
45 Muslim countries. Why
So,
isn't one of them?
you know what you need to do? You know what would be really good, yeah, Daniel? Go and look in history, people who lived under Islamic law and how their lives were.
If it's such a good system, why it's not adopted now?
Because they told you it's a boogeyman. You're already denying everything in
No,
Sharia.
maybe not in. No, I'm asking in Muslim countries. Why didn't they adopt
No,
it?
there is, but not
Where's
fully.
where?
Elements.
Saudi Arabia, Indonesia. No, not Indonesia.
Yeah.
Indonesia?
Malaysia.
No, Brunei. They tried
Do
to.
you know how much in the courts in Saudi Arabia how much had accused people how much when they've got proper defence, when they've got proper
Have you been
barrister?
there, sir?
I've read about it.
Also, you read it.
Well,
That's
have you been there?
No, but that's not
Hang on,
Sharia.
have you been there?
But I don't believe in that, sir.
I thought you believed in Sharia law.
No, we do. But who said?
Perfect
You said,
Sharia law.
you said
No,
Saudi
who said the
Arabia.
system they have there is
perfectly.
compliant to Sharia?
No, but you said Saudi Arabia.
No, but there's a lot of things
said
Saudi Arabia
elements
get
of it.
involved with. It's not Sharia. They get involved with banks, that is interest,
Alcohol.
No,
alcohol.
but Sharia law. It's
That's
Saudi
not- that's-
Arabia.
no,
That's
that's-
Sharia law. Saudi Arabia.
Elements.
It's elements. But what I'll do is look in history for people who lived under the Sharia and look at their testimonies. I can read you some. What they said. You know what they were doing? They were Jewish rabbis calling their other Jewish fellow brothers and sisters to come and live under the Sharia. You've never lived under it. Let me tell you something. The Sharia that you're talking about, I hate it as much as you do because it's got nothing to do with the Sharia I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I hate
That's
it. You know
the
what you're
problem.
talking about? I'm scared of it.
No, but even the examples,
Well done.
I'm scared of it. I'm
even
scared
the
of it.
examples you've given me,
Yeah.
I just think it's just.
Okay, then Daniel, you tell me the cure.
Yeah.
We want a cure,
Yeah.
solutions for knife crime. We want solutions for theft and robbery. We want solutions for slander.
Yeah.
We want solutions for
Yeah.
alcoholics, gambling addicts.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the solution?
I can't give you a 30-second solution, but what I can.
Islam can.
Okay, all
No,
right.
first second.
There's no, but you haven't got a solution. You've got a sort of, if you don't mind, I don't take this just
No,
as
no, no.
quite an inhumane method to try and scare people into not.
Deterrent.
Yeah,
We do with our kids. Come on, sometimes. Oh, don't do that. You know, boogeyman might. It's just there as a deterrent because it prevents a greater harm.
but I have to agree to disagree.
No problem. Daniel, is that your
Deterrent
dog?
is the best thing in
what's your
accountability,
dog
sir.
called?
Islam teaches you accountability.
Okay, well,
I'm against all Sharia law, all of it.
I'm again.
No, he believes this. He made a statement. I'm
I'm
going to try to
against
find that one
the
second.
punishments. The punishments that are given out.
You've
for
got to say,
Sharia law.
okay, how big a part is the punishment part of Sharia? How much of Sharia is it? Because there's also take care of your mother at old age.
But I was asking Ali about what
How
the
much
difference
is
in
the
the Sharia.
punishment?
Oh yeah. By the way, Sharia law.
I mean, do women have equal witness state? Are we allowed to give? Are they equal when it comes to giving witness statements? as men?
Certain aspects, no. Certain aspects, but why? There's certain aspects when it comes to, for example, the finance side of it, yeah? Finance side of it, because if we believe in Islamic, the family unit is that the husband is working and the wife can work also, but, for example, if she has, like, she wants to be a house, I don't like the term housewife, yeah? She's at home, she's looking after the kids, etc. When it comes to financial matters, she is not aware of it and she does not know. So to bring her as a witness to a business transaction will not be fair.
But
Do you get it?
what
So
if
it's
she was a
certain
witness?
aspects.
What if she was a witness to a business transaction?
No. If she was involved in a business, that's a different story. I don't know. I can't answer that personally. But you made a statement. Sharia law is not just cutting people's. I don't know. You know what that means? That's like introducing someone to America and being, hey, by the way, do you know our capital punishment? Sharia law is feeding the poor. Sharia law is looking after your neighbor. Sharia law is being good to your parents. This is Sharia law.
No, I'm asking you about.
Sharia law
I'm
is not-
asking you about the judicial system.
No, I know. Yes,
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
not
aspect.
asking about- yeah.
That's
Yeah.
5%.
It is judicial system as
Look
well,
at it as a
taking care of your
holistic.
parents.
That's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's like me going to America and saying, "Oh, look at, let me introduce you to America. We
Benefit
have a death
system,
penalty."
sir.
Well,
It's in
no, I'm
Sharia.
asking you about that. But
No,
you
I
seem,
know, I
you
know.
seem that, yeah,
But would you-
what
if-
you're
if-
saying
if
is
we-
you're taking a very sort of theocratic look, based on theocracy. And you're saying
Yeah.
if the Quran says you be whipped for punishment, then that's it. That's the way it is. And we don't have that
Humanity needs
system.
It has to.
deterrence, sir.
Okay, to tell.
Enhanced interrogation.
In reality.
Sorry?
Enhanced interrogation by the Americans.
No,
How about that?
that's like what about? That's I don't want to go to what's aboutery.
Enhanced.
Okay, it's completely
It's there to protect the highway. Shall I tell you? Do you know what happens to highway robbers
when what do you mean?
In Sharia law.
in Islam?
Go on.
It's very gruesome.
Capital punishment.
So, for example, highway robbers, people who stop. Let's say I'm driving my car. They stop with guns, take my money, take my car, and disappear. Yeah, very severe. If they stop a group of people on the road and they steal, but they do not kill anybody, their hands will be cut off. If they steal and kill people, kill innocent people,
What if they needed the money for the children's operation?
No, if they need an operation, then the state should be questioned.
Would they have their hands chopped off?
No. See, what you're doing is we're turning a situation.
I'm asking about the circumstances of that.
No, I know, but all of that. Do you think the judges are idiots? They're just like, okay, we don't care.
I'm just asking you.
Of course, look.
So does the Quran say that if you steal money because your children need an operation, that you don't have your hands chopped off?
Of course, man. Do you think Islam is some kind of like a barbaric?
In Sharia law, the man wouldn't need to steal to have an operation for his children.
Look. Let me give you an example here. Hence, if a property is stolen from a place which is not considered a repository of such a thing as when a thief steals from a building whose door is open or from a broken repository, then no amputation is to be executed on him. Do you see how minute details? Was the door open? Yes. Your fault. Why leave the door open, sir? Islam
That wasn't what I asked.
I don't know. I feel like everything I'm
I think
trying
you're
to
doing
answer.
gymnastics
Okay,
with words.
Sorry.
With words.
With highway robbers, let me just tell you, it's more gruesome. If they kill and steal, their hands, the limbs will be chopped from each side, they will be hanged. And they 100% deserve that. 100%. That's why you have innocent people. You know where I live? You know where I live? An innocent boy was robbed, he got stabbed in his leg here, they hit the main artery, and he died. And his family was screaming because my auntie works in a hospital, save my child. People like that should be hanged. Hanged.
A 75-year-old.
Is this your son?
A 75-year-old.
Imagine if someone did that to your son.
A war veteran 2 months ago
Never.
got beaten in his house by 2 thugs. After 1 week, he died.
They should be hanged.
If it was my father,
They should be hanged.
they should have been hanged.
Go
ask that person.
I know these crimes are terrible.
So
I don't condone any of them.
accountability is very
Of course,
important.
accountability is important.
In Islam, accountability.
Well, in any country, accountability, regardless of.
Then we agree then. It's just because it's a bit harsh with modernity, with modern society,
You know
you're
why?
saying, oh, why harsh?
Shall I tell you something? Daniel, just to finish on this note, is that it's all there to protect you and your family and us to live in harmony. So your son can walk at night, not thinking, somebody behind me, walk in peace. So if this means this gruesome act, done on a criminal by the way, is going to save your child's life, your life, me living peacefully at home, I would prefer that. I prefer a 10-minute of a gruesome punishment that everybody sees than living my entire life looking behind my
And
back.
you wouldn't say that if it was a family member.
Worrying about what's going to happen.
If somebody did this to your son, what would you want?
You wouldn't say it if your family.
I'm asking you a simple question. Somebody comes and kills your son innocently.
I would expect. I would hope justice is served.
What's justice?
Justice is.
Doing community service. 5 years in prison, 10 years in prison.
I hope that
Would you want him to be killed? Would you want him to be killed?
No.
You wouldn't.
No,
by the way, you have a right to. No, you have a right to.
No, hang on. Let me finish.
Sorry.
No, let me finish.
Islam says
no,
that.
let me finish.
Forgive.
It depends what happened, but if someone killed my son,
Yes.
of course I'd feel like I'd probably want to kill that person.
Yes.
But I know that I'd be pleased to know that our justice system doesn't have capital punishment.
Okay, what if the justice system says, whatever, he gets 10 years?
Yeah.
Would you be happy with that?
It depends on the I probably not. I wouldn't be happy with
So
it.
is that justice then? Is that
I would
justice
never.
then? Is that justice then? And by the way, Islamically,
But what you're saying, you're not comparing apples with you're comparing apples with
Money.
pears. Whether I think I'd want them to be locked up for many years. Of course I would.
but they get maximum 20 years.
Okay, but then what we have to do is change the laws.
Yes! Sharia law! There we go. He likes it, Come on, man. You can't say no to
But we
that.
believe it, because prison is also about rehabilitating that person, re-educating that person. They've often got circumstances. They've had bad upbringings, all these different circumstances.
Of course.
But
The Sharia deals with that.
Okay,
You're right.
Your way is
No.
No,
Come on,
no,
you
you're
understand?
wrong.
We're not butchers.
You're wrong, sir.
You just said if you're an LGBT, you're capital punishment.
No, I never said that. I never said I said that's what the Sharia has.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Look, this is what I call justice.
unbelievable.
We finish on this note, yeah? If your son is killed, and God protect him, yeah? And guide him. I ask God to guide you both to Islam, yeah? If your son is killed, the judges will come to you and say, you have a choice. You're the father, you've been hurt. He's a part of you. We ask you, would you like the person who's killed to be killed? Would you like to be forgiven or blood money? You choose. That's justice. Because you can say, you know what? I forgive him, no problem. Blood money, or I want him to be killed the way he killed my son.
Well,
Pleasure. Sharia law.
Good luck rather you than me.
No, please read.
But read it.
I
Positive stuff of Sharia law. Don't
What's your dog's
change the word Sharia as a negative word.
No, but I don't want to repeat, but what's been said today has been quite clear about what the punishments are.
Good.
No, of course. But look into
Thank you very much for
It's a
listening.
whole religion. It's actually
Yeah.
5% of it. What's your dog's name?
Education is the most important thing. To read,
Tofu.
to research. I mean Islam.
Have you met Tofu? Show him Tofu. Here's Tofu. Look.
Oh, tofu.
Wait,
Okay.
look, what if he commits a crime?
Look. Then we have to ask him if he did it on purpose or not. Okay. Tofu, was you there at the crime? Be honest. Okay. He's saying he has a right to remain silent. So we will. Right, thanks. Yeah,
Take care. Ali, let's go.
Okay.
Content over everything. From your
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
How you believe the Most High, the creator of the creation, became a baby. So this one thing. So this was definitely. So a masjid means that place which is Aqsa now, all the open space, that court, all that is called Masjid Aqsa. That was built and it was destroyed, I believe, once or twice. However,